Hello, everyone. I see the gang's all here in the little chat. And look who I'm with. I'm with Tyler Harlow.
Hello.
And Tyler, I'm excited that you're here because of two reasons. One, this is your very first movie, correct?
It's true.
And it's your very first Hallmark movie. And you land the leading role. How about that?
It's not a bad way to start off what is hopefully going to be a long and fulfilling career.
It will be. It is. And I already have little names, like a little name for your following.
Ooh.
Like Tyler Hines has his people call themselves Heinies. I know, isn't that cute? That's hilariously cute to me.
It seems only natural to take that opportunity there.
And Andrew Walker has walkies.
Yeah,
So I'm like, and who was it? The McGarrys and the McNallys. So I'm like, you have a cute handle on Instagram. So it's sweeties with two T's. That's
I
what they
like
can
that.
call
Hey, I worked with a guy when I in my 20s in outdoor education,
themselves.
and he called me Sweet Tea, and I always thought it was so funny because there's so many. He was from the South, Sweet Tea,
Mm-hmm.
Sweet
Yep.
Tea. My name is Tyler. I just thought, hey, I love this, and it stuck with me, and it's kind of carried through. So let's
Right.
continue that legacy.
We might make something of it. And so we have Christmas Con, in New Jersey. One day you should participate in that. And
Love
I
that.
got all kinds of little promotion ideas for you.
I we got to talk, Roxanne. We got to have a
We,
long sit down, you and I.
we will. All right. So one of the things I love researching my people. And one of the things that I was fascinated by was all the traveling you did here in the United States, because there's a lot to see.
Yeah,
So for everyone to get to know you a little bit, I'm sure they saw you on Suspenders Unbuttoned, my girls, and I think you did another podcast and you did some lives, and I suggested people watch, but I wanted you to share with us like on your journey because you went from East Coast to West Coast, and it was for charity, wasn't it?
it's true. Yes. In that particular case, I rode a bicycle from Boston. I left from the Science Museum in Boston and rode to San Francisco to raise money and awareness for a nonprofit based in Massachusetts called Sibling Connections. And their goal is to reunite siblings separated through the foster care system. And I was fortunate enough to spend several summers volunteering at their camp, a week-long camp where siblings get to reunite and spend a unique week together, developing those bonds that unfortunately for them can be the only time of the year that they may see each other. And it was an experience that was so important to me and an opportunity that I was very fortunate to get to undertake to do a little work myself towards a much greater goal, which was sustaining this effort to ensure that these kids got the opportunity to really grow together. And so,
I know that was nice, and that's sweet. That's very close to my heart because I have quite a few students that are in foster care in
mm,
my each year in my school. So that's like when I heard about that, I was like, that's wonderful. Now, when you say bike, was it a bicycle or a motorcycle?
it was a bicycle, yes.
Okay.
2 summers ago, I did ride a motorcycle from Vermont to Los Angeles.
Yes.
But in that case, when I was 24, I was riding a bicycle,
Mhm.
and I had all my luggage on panniers, and I would camp out, and I was met with wonderful showing of generosity and people that really who were total strangers who took me in and offered me places to stay. Some people offered me meals. Just a
Cool.
very generous, warm reception from people, especially once I got to conversate with them about what I was doing. It was a testament to um, the warmth and resolve of this country, and to when you get to know people on a personal level, they really have good intentions at heart. And
Yes, and
that
it
was
was for a wonderful cause. So along the way, now that's 2 times you're going across. So you must have experienced, like I was saying earlier, or I said in my email to you, I know you had to experience like all kinds of things, even if it was just like a roadside cafe, a landmark, or whatever. So all the things that you've experienced,
Ooh,
if you had to choose one for the viewers, myself, at least one, you can give me more if you want,
sure.
but give me a few that you think, oh, you should try this here or try that here. I don't care if it's somebody's guacamole in their little restaurant in
Yeah.
some obscure town, whatever. What do you got?
Well, I certainly would suggest if you've never had the opportunity to do so, to by vehicle, by any means of conveyance, ride over the Rocky Mountains, because
Oh.
it's such a awe-inspiring experience. Just you feel insignificant in the best way. And
Mm.
I'd never spent time in the Rockies, and to ride a bicycle across them I got to feel every inch of that experience. I went over Monarch's Pass, which is in southern Colorado. In terms of the human experience, I crashed my bicycle in the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, and
Uh-huh.
I was picked up by the local fire and EMS squad down there, and I received such a warm and loving reception from that group of people. So they took me to the hospital. Obviously, I ended up staying three nights at the firehouse with them, and
Ooh.
I would eat with them. They offered me a place to stay. They ended up contributing money through a benevolence fund to my
Oh.
charity. So I always think, in a very simple way, if anyone ever gets the opportunity to travel there, good people in the Lake of the Ozarks, regardless of what you see in the show Ozark. See
I know, right?
down there.
Oh, that's I would never have even guessed. See, that's a good tidbit.
Yeah,
So you've traveled to my hometown, which I tell everybody, and anybody here will know, I call it a Hallmark town. They need to come
it's
visit.
true. It's
Bye. You've been to Hamilton. If you want to talk a little bit about your feelings about
good.
Hamilton.
I have this pillow here, this New Jersey pillow with
Uh-huh.
all sorts. Unfortunately, Hamilton is not on it, but we have Margate down here, so not too
Mhm.
far away.
Nope.
A lot of great staples. My girlfriend wanted you to see this.
Love it.
To pay homage to New Jersey. I have, and my girlfriend and her family are actually from New Jersey,
Yes.
from Hamilton.
Mhm.
So I've had the pleasure on several occasions to go down there, and over the years have grown a greater affinity towards not only the place but the people. It has a lot of the staples of, as you would mention, a kind of quaint Hallmark-esque sense of community to it.
Mhm.
A great Main Street kind of uh, downtown. I'm putting
Yes,
that
it
quote.
is downtown. You're
Yes,
right.
downtown. A great water tower there. A lot of brick and mortar. Something that is very nostalgic that feeling of that kind of all American, and the blueberry capital of the world. For all
Yes.
those who are looking for a little bit of trivia,
Yes, and the most Italian town according to the census in the United States of
I
America.
can believe that. For sure, I can believe that.
So I'm gonna take a picture of the water tower, and I'm gonna take a picture of
You're gonna take a picture
downtown.
of the water tower.
Yes, I am. I hear what you're saying. I am.
I say that with so much love.
I know,
So
and
much love.
I'm gonna take a picture of it, and then I'm gonna mark you on it and say that's one of your favorite
Maybe
things.
you can, maybe you can get them to superimpose my face on. I don't know, Roxanne. You
We
seem like you could work magic. I'm just thinking. These are
we
just thoughts.
might. So wait a minute, just a little bit of info. I don't know if I ever shared this, and it's really not about me, but I have to jump in. There's a giant rock that's in the center of town that's dedicated to the president. And when he came through town, Ronald
Reagan.
Reagan, yes.
Yeah.
And the street's named Ronald Reagan Drive. And we used to have a wall, and the wall got torn down, and then they accidentally they placed it with a rock. And at the time, I was 21, and I was Miss Hamilton, and I got to dedicate the rock.
You. I love that.
So I won't take a picture by that. I'll skip over
I
that.
think maybe
So
you should. I think that'd be nice. You could send me 21-year-old Roxanne with the photo
mm,
of the rock, and then
yeah.
now I think I love that.
Now, it's besides your girlfriend being who you think is probably the most beautiful woman from Hamilton. Who else is the next best, most beautiful woman in Hamilton? Is it a relative of hers? Does she
Oh,
have a
I thought
niece?
I was going to say Roxanne, but
No, no, no. It's a relative of hers, isn't
yes,
it?
it is. Her mom,
Uh-huh.
Barbara, aka Babs Neary. She is she
A
is
big fan.
she's a fan. She's been a huge advocate of me throughout my journey into
Oh,
this career, and I have nothing but a resounding deep well of love for her and her husband Dan, um, my partner's stepdad, who has been wonderful as well. And they're going to be um, showing the movie. They're going to have a little premiere of their own
I
on
love
Saturday.
that.
I'm so thrilled. But yes, they're wonderful people, and we can't wait to get back to New Jersey to spend some quality time.
Oh, all right. Enough about New Jersey. We got to move on now. So, okay. So let's talk about a different kind of journey. Let's talk about your acting journey. So you started off liking, what was it? Summer stock with your mom taking you to the Red Barn. Actually,
Sure.
there's actually a place called the Red Barn that travels around and goes to schools. They come to our school even. That
Oh,
was cute.
cool.
So anyway, what did you see? What was it that was like exciting?
Well, I think, yeah, and good for you. Look at you getting all this knowledge here. I love that. Yeah, growing up, we had this red barn, this beautiful post and bean barn, and I grew up in a very rural community
Mhm.
in southern Vermont. So to have, um, I give a lot of credit to the husband and wife who were in the acting, who taught acting at a local school, high school, and had the foresight to bring all these wonderful equity actors from Boston up for the summer. And they would put on typically 3 productions, and then they do a cabaret at the end, at night after the production. And it was just, for me, it was just such a time of magic. I really enjoyed seeing, everything from The Music Man,
Oh, I love the
Into
music.
the Woods. I mean, you name it. There was so many. And my mom used to host actors at our house for the summer, to put them up for as part of their board situation. And, I think that stuck with me. Part of me has always enjoyed um, the theater, music, everything, the arts in general. And it wasn't really until I got to Wyoming towards the tail end of my journey of living in Wyoming, which I did for 7 years. I lived in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Mhm.
I was in a production called Water by the Spoonful.
Which, by the way, is super interesting. I was watching people over the years that have done it on YouTube, and I was seeing if I
Mm,
could find one that had you in it, but I have to do more research if anyone caught you. Interesting, like
very
interesting
interesting.
play. Like,
Very
wow. Yeah.
interesting. And it's I'll send you some footage. I'm sure
Okay.
I can get some for you. Yeah, I mean, really a compelling piece about, it's actually one play in a trilogy following this young Puerto Rican American through kind of 3 stages of his life. And
Mhm.
in this particular play, I play a character, one of several characters who are interacting on a chat room going through a rehab. There,
Okay.
it's kind of um, a rehabilitation chat room, and so the characters are not ever in the chat room speaking to each other directly. It's as though they're communicating online. So as a first experience, it was trying in many ways because I was acting, but not using someone else necessarily as a motivational
Right. You feed off of
advocate
each
to move,
other.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, to
Yeah.
move the narrative. But I worked with some wonderful equity actors from Los Angeles and Denver, and I got the opportunity to work with them, have them be bestow a lot of their great knowledge and experience onto me, and then provide me with some insight when I finally did decide to move to Los Angeles,
Right.
and I did shortly after that. And uh, the
Did you
rest.
model? I think you started modeling.
I did. Yes,
Now,
I did model it.
Hold on. I'm going to add something to the stream. Don't be embarrassed. This is nice.
I'm not. Embarrass
Okay.
me. Come on.
So,
Hey, look at that guy.
look at this. So you were on the cover of 2 different authors' books, and I have to laugh because I think it was Megan Crane.
Yes.
She wrote under and she said, "Thank you for being on the cover because it was helping, people to want to buy it." But look, you were a cowboy, and I have an idea. I'm going to speak this out there. I think Hallmark, their writers should check out Megan Crane's story or Kate Pierce's story. And they should, make it into a script. And then they should come and find you and you can take the lead.
Come on. I mean, it seems natural enough. And what a great story. Roxanne, you got ideas, and I like that about you. While I was in Wyoming, I was doing some regional modeling stuff, and obviously to propel me into acting, I was utilizing all resources available to me. And I guess I'm fortunate enough not to be terrible to look at, and I was utilizing that to help me advance my career, and I still continue to. I have a print agent, and I do work on occasion. Obviously, my primary focus is acting, but it comes in tandem with other things, and I'm grateful and looking at these images. And there's a book right now. There's a book out right now, and I forget who the author is. Aaron is. Oh, here we go. Look.
Oh,
look at
this. Wait a minute. This is my friend. You're
okay.
Linda and I are wait, I'm going to show you something. Linda and I are friends, so much so that I have something special that goes in one of her books, because she just had a movie made at Hallmark, so I might be onto something. I'm going to call up Linda.
Let's go, Roxanne.
We're going to figure out this for real now. How about that?
So her book. This came out recently, and I've seen it all over the place. I'll go to Ralph's here in Los Angeles, and I'll see it on I'll walk by and I'll see it on the shelf. I had a friend recently say, "I saw your face on a book in the grocery store." I said, "Who, me?" It's everything for me is beyond, obviously. It's flattering, of course. It's validating to see that the work that I've tried to put in over the last 6 years is starting to yield, and I'm starting to gain some momentum, and I'm immensely appreciative of that. And to have you acknowledge those things.
Listen, I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm sorry. You are appreciative and you're very humble, but I'm telling you, I find it hilarious because I interview all kinds of people for Hallmark. So you weren't a background actor. You weren't a secondary actor. You weren't in a B storyline. You're the lead with Cindy Busby, who is seasoned, and she is, I call her Hallmark Hardy because she's all over Hallmark, and she got to be in, she was in When Calls the Heart, and she's like one of my favorites. So they pair you up with someone who's amazing, and if you couldn't hold your own with someone like that, they would have never done that. Yeah. So Tyler, I'm expecting great things. I
hope that on Saturday we deliver for you. I mean, Cindy was incredible in every capacity. She is obviously such a established, well-versed actress who has a lot of experience and a wealth of titles under her belt, and she was nothing but generous with herself, with her acting, with providing some great insight to me, just creating a comfortable space for me to work and making me feel like I was in a safe space to produce the best of what I could. And I'm so grateful to that. And obviously to have someone of that magnitude and status as a co-star, leading this movie it can't get any better for me.
Go up. We can only go up, though. We're not going down. We're going up. It can get better. It can.
But Cindy was wonderful, and we're hopefully, maybe you'll see us again in another movie. There's always potential.
That's true. You never know. That's true. It could. So let's talk about the movie.
Sure.
Tell me about your character. Tell them who you are. And
Yes.
so you have a degree in psychology. So I thought it would be nice if you described your character, because we really don't want to give away too much of your character because
Right.
we want people to be just teased. But can we, like, you just tell us who he is, and then maybe, like, what's going on in his mind and why he might tick that way, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. So the movie Marry Me in Yosemite, which is coming out on Saturday, 8/7 Central, on Hallmark. My character is Jack Hawkins, and he works and lives adjacent to Yosemite National Park, and he has worked in various capacities in the park. He is an avid enthusiast and lover of the outdoors and conservation of Yosemite itself, but the greater wilderness of the country. And he happens to meet up with Zoe Best, who Cindy plays, and a lot of great shenanigans ensue, and some good chemistry. And Jack is wonderful because he's a character that initially may seem obstinate and a little abrupt in his bedside manner, but it's with good intention. He is a guy that has lots of conviction and cares deeply for what he does, and so he has a level of seriousness about how he conveys himself. And I think he is able to offer up some good insight and teach some things to Zoe in this movie, as he also finds that he's learning from her as well.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the dynamic really great. So
Cindy, I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead. I was going to say, Cindy has a great sense of humor. Do we ever get to see any of that in the story?
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, she is a incredibly funny and has a great impromptu wit about her. I think I mentioned this in another interview, but it was a great moment. We were rock climbing. We were doing a scene where Cindy was rock climbing, and without giving much away, we shot this scene a couple times over, and we kind of riffed on it, and I was dying laughing because I would throw something at her, and then she would just respond with being herself, and it was just kind of it cracked me up. I realized that I was overmatched, and I had to I just figure these lines out, because I'm not gonna be able to get through this if I keep trying to pull a fast one on you, which is clearly not working. But
right, it didn't work. You weren't a match for her.
No, not at all. I had to bow out gracefully to Cindy on that. So that was a lot of fun. So you'll definitely get an opportunity to see Cindy be her wonderful self and add a lot of good humor to the story. And I think because of that dynamic, it makes for some good comedy and some good tender moments.
Oh, that's good. That's a good movie. That's a good rom-com.
Yeah.
So did you have to prep at all for this? Like, did they say to you, you're going to be fly fishing and rock climbing? And I'm sure you weren't truly rock climbing, but all that stuff, did you have to, like, or because you are experienced in that area, you were okay, you were good to go, showed up and you started?
Yeah, I mean, I think because of the nature of who Jack is and what they wanted to convey as the character, there were a lot of similarities in our personalities, and fortunately for me, I didn't have to do a lot of stretching in that regard. Having a background in outdoor education and outdoor adventure, I've had experience rock climbing, backpacking, and so I was able to bring some of that knowledge base to the movie, and hopefully that reflects. It doesn't look as though it's fabricated.
Right.
It's the genuine article. So
When I saw this, I saw some behind the scenes things and I was like, oh, okay. And then what I saw in the promos that they've been sharing out, I was like, oh, they did a great job. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure the crew always does. Like, I'm like, oh, you really look like you were on a big giant rock cliff, but you
Yeah.
actually you weren't. I'm calling a rock.
Yeah, we the beauty of
Yeah.
movie magic, right? We were able
Yes.
to do everything very safely and without putting us in
Sure.
compromising
Sure.
positions. We were fortunate enough to see wonderful rock climbers who were um, scaling rock faces that I could never even pretend to have
Cool.
the ability to do, and so that was pretty incredible. And we got to work with two people who will actually have small moments in the movie,
I love that.
who are rock climbers, and so we got to rub elbows with the genuine article. So that was nice.
That's cool. Now, it looks like you fly fishing. Is that really you?
It is me. Yeah, yeah, it is.
And any did you do your stunts? Did they have to have any stunt people in or
No, again for the fly fishing, because I had lived in Wyoming for many years and have some foundational
Mhm.
experience with fly fishing, I was able to get out there, and mostly they want that kind of the big action of the drive fly
Yes.
fishing, so kind of
Yeah, yep.
whipping that line.
Yeah.
A true angler would probably say, what's going
Right,
on?"
right,
But
right.
it looks beautiful, and we were able to capture. I think it's going to really look in the entirety of the park is so just awe-inspiring, that the scenes that we got fly fishing with these backdrops with the Merced River running through it, just very river runs through it, very beautiful. And so, but yeah, I was able to do the fly fishing, which was great because I got to hang out in cold water, and I actually had a fly. I had limited flies there, but I tied on something, and I was actually trying to fish and catch fish. So
Oh, cool.
that's the beauty of it, like, just the director saying, just just more
Do it.
casting and more, no problem. I could stay
Now,
there all day.
that's another thing that's nice about this and is a good experience for you too, is that you were really on location. It wasn't like they say it's Yosemite and you're up in Canada filming.
Right.
You were really there and you actually stayed there, right? In cabins, like we're in with
Yeah.
a small crew. So I was thinking there's some really wild names in different parts of the park. Like one of them, what is it? It's the Turtleback Dome. I know
Yeah.
there's Tunnel View. There's a veil, like it's supposed to be Bridal Veil, and it's like a waterfall. Sometimes it dries up. So, but when the
Yes.
wind moves, it looks like
Yes.
it's a veil. There's
Absolutely.
okay, so you're all over the park. What was any one of them a little like challenging? And is there one that's like, not that it was your favorite to see, but like favorite scene that you filmed around?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
gosh, in terms of beauty of all these locations, they're all uniquely, they were so, it was like one better than the next. I mean,
yeah.
um, they kept on proving to be so beautiful. Challenges, we had an evening. We had a long day shoot. It was at the end of our first week of shooting. I remember it being a Friday, and we were all, as a production, taking the weekend off, and we
Yeah.
had a pretty a pretty long scene of Cindy and I, and it's actually, it was in part of the promotion. We're sitting and having this pretty, it's one of our first kind of intimate talks about things,
On the
and
rock, right?
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
and the mosquitoes started to. We must have been sitting on the epicenter of all mosquitoes being procreating in the world, because it
Oh
we
gosh.
we would have these scenes, and a tender moment, a real connection in these scenes, and I could see mosquitoes landing on Cindy's face,
Oh
and
gosh.
just, we, unfortunately, in the close-ups, you can't have the mosquitoes, because you'd see
Yeah.
that in
Yeah.
wide, you can kind of get away with it, but it was just proved to be, it was a end of a long day. We were battling mosquitoes. I don't know how we ever made it through it. and mostly unscathed. No massive welts to deal with on Monday, but that was a challenge for sure. And it was a good challenge because, as you mentioned, we got to shoot everything on location where we in the movie were representing, and it was beautiful to experience the elements, the sun, the wind, the cool nights, the sunrises, and it enriched within us this attachment to the place, and hopefully that comes across in the movie, because really the location, Yosemite, is this third character in the movie.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it really proves to be a driving force in the movie, and I think people will see it and be blown away, and hopefully inspires them to do their own bit of getting out there in the world.
And go to Yosemite like that.
Go to Yosemite, go anywhere. I hope more than anything, it just enriches people's connection to the outdoors. I don't care if it's going for a walk every day that is different than your normal routine. I mean, we're so lucky. We live in such a beautiful world that we shouldn't take for granted. And I think that being able to shoot in Yosemite, of course, it was exceptional, and it's such a unique experience that I'll never forget. But I'm excited for that in the movie, to be talking about conservation a little bit, and also for people to feel energized in their own way.
Message. Yeah, it's a good message.
It is a great message.
I know they're going to love it. We're going to live tweet. We have the hashtags going. I don't think you're on Twitter, but you should be. And I'm going to tell you why. So, I mean, I'm sure Cindy will, because she's a powerhouse.
Yes.
She's out there. But it's good for you too. I have a director friend, and he and I were talking about this once, and he said, it's really good on Twitter because they look at that. They look at that for if you can get your name trending besides the movie trending, the title of it. It's good for advertisement. It's so you want to do that. You want a director who's sitting, back watching the movie, saying, "Oh, look, he's trending. I'm going to watch him in my next movie."
I admittedly, I'm such a Luddite when it comes to technology, and I have a hard time. What I try and find balance. Talk about finding balance in your life. Is I just don't. Yeah, excuses. I just don't want to spend all my time on the screens. But you're very right. It's something
you don't have to go. A sibling, a friend, somebody go on and they
a Roxanne, maybe. I don't know.
I will live tweet. But but still, like, other people, your family, everyone should be watching and live tweeting. This helps you immensely. So I have a question. When I was doing my research, and you may or may not be able to answer this, and it's okay, just tell me that. I saw in the press kit something interesting, 2 photos of a band. And I'm thinking, where's a band come to play in the middle of Yosemite? Is it part of the storyline?
It is part of the storyline. And we shot majority of the movie in Yosemite. We shot roughly half the days in Yosemite, and then half the days just outside the park. But we were very adjacent to Yosemite. But 2 days we did shoot in Los Angeles, and one of the scenes involves us being in a kind of country bar.
Do we see dancing?
You'll see a little dancing. Yes, you'll see me with 2 left feet.
That's okay. That's all right.
No, and it was awesome because the band actually played while we were filming, and so we got to, hopefully the music that is theirs. Is theirs, yeah. But it certainly, and we had actual professional dancers in the background, and they were doing their stuff, and so nice. I'm hoping that a fair amount of attention goes to them, not to take away from the scene by any means. But it was.
We're gonna look. That's good, because see that everyone who's here, you're gonna look for that. We'll look for it. That's fun. Right. That's fun.
And it was so hot in that country bar scene. It was very hot. So remember that when you see that, how hot it was.
Okay.
I was standing in front of a big fan in between takes, just letting it billow onto me, just
They didn't have air conditioning?
No air conditioning.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm
she
like,
said.
no. Not in a bar when you're drinking and dancing and no air conditioning. My
You're
gosh.
supposed to be
Okay.
sweating. That's what you do when you're at a
Okay.
country bar. You get swung around, you drink beer, yeah.
Okay. That's wild. So, since this is your first movie and first Hallmark, what's a takeaway? Like one thing. I know there's many, but what's something you take away that you're like, oh, I'm glad I learned this and I'm gonna, file that away and I'm gonna use it for my next project. It could, it could be anything. Maybe you learn something that has to do with stunts or the crew. It could be anything.
Yeah, I think what I learned in the best way, we had such an exceptional crew. It was a small, because of the nature of shooting in the park, we were limited in terms of the amount of people we were allowed to have on the permit.
Yeah.
And so we were operating with a pretty small crew and by comparison to what you normally have on set in studios.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a wonderful crew that really went above and beyond, and really is the reason that this film had momentum and was able to, we were able to pull it off. And I think I learned a lot about, at the end of the day, making movies, much like anything else, is about the interpersonal connections, the relationships that you develop, and really, I was fortunate because it was a small crew to really get to know everyone pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I am a people person. I enjoy getting to know someone. It's an important part of any experience for me. And I thought this only further solidifies that these experiences, aside from the work that I have to do as an actor, are important to know people, know what they do, how to best support them in that, how to best do your job so that you're making their job easier. Yeah. And I think being a good team player always proves to serve you well. And I think moving forward, I will continue to place a high value on that because
That's nice. That's good. I had the opportunity to chat with Jesse Hutch. I don't know, he's a Hallmark actor, but he's in a lot of things. He's also a stunt man. Like
cool.
he never allows any, grass to grow under his feet. He's always trying something different. And that's exactly what he said. He said he liked knowing what the crew had to do, even how to line up a shot, everything, and he appreciated it. So now when they ask him to stand in a certain place, he's going to make sure he's standing on his mark because of the light and whatever. And I don't know, I think he's a great actor, and I think when you have that kind of energy and you want to know that, it makes you a better actor. It makes
absolutely. If you're only, again, regardless of your profession, you should be invested in what other people do. It only helps to elevate you in your position. And I think that's something that I was cued into and fortunate enough to have receptive people who are willing to allow me to be in their world and not push me away. Everyone was very receptive in that regard. So
it's good. You're getting your feet wet and you were learning. That's nice.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now that we've heard quite a bit about the movie, we're all excited. And let me just say this. So, just for anyone that's out there, yes, we want to watch live because it's this Saturday, which is the 3rd, and it comes on at 8 on the Hallmark Channel in the USA. Not sure when it airs in Canada. I don't know if you know that, but I'm not sure because they have different time zones or not time zones, different channel, different things. But it's also coming out, and this is important because this helps with the ratings. If you can't catch it live on Saturday, you can catch it live on Sunday. And then I got to look at my notes because I got the dates down.
It's Thursday.
You could catch it live on Sunday at 12. You could catch it live on the 8th, which is Thursday, and the 10th. On the 8th at 8 and on the 10th at 2.
My girl Roxanne right here.
Go on your channel on the TV and you say, marry me in Yosemite, and it tells you all your times. So that's good because then you're going to want to check like 3 days later to see, what the extension is for the ratings. So
yes. And hopefully people love it so much they want to watch it again with friends. I'm just hoping that people feel as good about watching the movie as I did making it.
They will. They're gonna love it. Now, so okay, you got actor. You were adventure guide. What was some of the other things I was? Oh, handyman and EMT. All those. What if you are going to get a role and out? A new role. Not what if you are, but when you do. What if it's one of those? What do you think would be the most interesting? EMT or
EMT, yeah, EMT, the firefighter. Obviously those are worlds that already this involve pretty high stakes scenarios, and so there's something obviously great about that, and also there's rich in human interaction. I mean, I have a friend who works Jackson Fire and EMS, and he actually posted something saying we're getting geared up here at the firehouse to watch the premiere of Tyler's movie, and that's the kind of camaraderie that you get being in those environments. And so of course, I mean, I would love a role in that capacity. I played ice hockey for 27 years. I could do something in that vein. Anything that involves being outdoors as a guiding, I would love that. I mean, God, that's the beauty of making movies, is that everything is just so many anything that is rich in a story. I don't care what it is. I think if you're lucky enough to get good writing and good team assembled, then you're lucky enough.
By any chance, do you ride a horse? Can you ride a horse?
Yeah, I mean, I can ride a horse. I would say that I'm
Eleanor's on here. Eleanor's going to give you lessons. Eleanor knows how to ride a horse.
Oh, love it.
Will give you some lessons. She's Erin's friend. She'll teach you when you come back to Jersey.
Okay, good. I'm thrilled.
I have some plans. I'm thinking if we get you into When Calls the Heart, you could be like a Mountie, and we could have you. You need to know how to ride a horse. But you fake it till you make it. You're like,
no, and I can ride a horse for sure. I'm being modest in terms of, I think there's varying degrees of what you can do, but sure, I can trot, I can canter, I can get up there and look the part.
All right, you can, because we saw you on the cover of a couple.
That's right.
Books right
what kind of self-respecting cowboy on a cover of a romance novel wouldn't know how to ride a horse?
Do you have a dream role? Do you have like this idea in your head that, I would love to play this kind of a person? Like maybe not so rom-com, maybe something like a thriller, or maybe something like a time period, like in the past.
Yeah, I mean, a period piece would be incredible. My partner Aaron and I just finished watching Ray Donovan on Showtime, which is it's a heavy show. 7 seasons. Liev Schreiber is just incredible. Yes. Man, so rich. I would love to play a role that gets to more than your 90 minutes to develop. I think
seasonal.
Seasonal, or even a limited series. Something that is 7 episodes of really, but it allows the arc to be drawn out. I think there's just something really nice about that. So again, I would not turn down any opportunity to be a part of something that is rich. Of course, I mean, there's always the Western mystique. My father was a big Clint Eastwood guy growing up, and so to be the man with no name, the High Plains Drifter, I think there's an appeal there. But there's so many narratives that could be really enjoyable to explore. Something that I'd like to do a role that is a little more counter to who I think my identity is. I think that would be really fun that's the beauty of acting too, is to develop the empathy for people that don't necessarily resonate with you initially, doing that work, to find the human connection. I think I think people who do that well are great actors. I think it's such a skill set and such an art. And I think that's a challenge.
Yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up, we're going to answer a few questions.
Yeah, please.
And they're showing you some love. But Let's talk about do you have anything coming up that you could talk a little bit about, like that? So everybody's going to watch this and they're going to enjoy this, and then they're going to say, "What else?" And they're going to go research. So what else is on the horizon?
Sure. A movie that I just shot, Secret Diary of a Cheerleader, is in post-production right now. So keep your eyes out for that. I'm not sure yet when that's coming out, but certainly excited about it. That's a thriller. That's more in that thriller vein. And so I get to play.
Where we would see it? I'm sorry. Where would we
I'm not entirely sure yet. Okay. Don't quote me. I want to say it's going to be on a Lifetime, but
when I looked at it, I was thinking it was along those lines, and
yes.
So we'll just keep our eyes out.
Keep your eyes open, because you'll see me in a very different capacity than Jack. And
see, this is a good thing. Stretch.
I like that. I like the visual of it too. It's just kind of being.
I'm really hyper. I'm like in teacher mode. Like
you are in teacher mode. I love it. My mom taught second grade for 28 years in the public school, and now she's a principal. So
yes, good for her.
And nice. And thank you to you for the work you do.
All right, so we're going to be looking for that, and I'm sure there's going to be other things.
Yes,
I know it.
I'm auditioning furiously, and I'm hoping there will be things in the future. So keep your eyes peeled, and I'm certainly excited to reach this milestone on Saturday of having a really wonderful experience.
8 o'clock, Saturday at 8.
Yes.
8 o'clock Eastern time. 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 Central.
That's right.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to look for people saying hi and showing you some love. You can control and look too. But I actually can put them on the screen. Oh, this is just Jan showing you some love. She's saying his biking across country was such a wonderful task. Bravo.
No, thank you, Janice. It was. And I think I've conveyed this, and I mean it so sincerely, that the riding the bike was the easy part. It's the people who are doing the work day in and day out to ensure that the logistics of these wonderful nonprofits stay solvent and allow for kids to come together. They're the ones that it made the ride much easier. So
that was, I mean, when I heard about that, I was like, oh my God, I want to look into that. That's neat. I mean, I can tell you from my own experience, like that must be like a dream come true for some of those kids to be able to be reunited and see each other. That's an amazing, amazing cause. So Eleanor is saying, Hamilton, shout out to Aaron.
That's right. Look at that. Look at my girlfriend getting love from Hamilton. She's, and I fully expect that.
Christina says, love how down to earth he is and so friendly. Can't wait for this movie. Hope he does more. This here is Chris. So Chris and Christina actually are admins to a fan page for a Hallmark actor named Chris McNally. And this is why she's asking this. She says, how interactive would you be on Facebook if you had a fan group? What if they made a fan page for you? Would you pop in and say hey to your fans?
Sure. I mean, I again, to touch on what we were talking about earlier, I try and live my life in the present as much as possible. Yes. But that being said, for something that has merit and worth, and I'm really have been in awe and really astounded by how much love I've received from people and wishing me well in my pursuits, and that really means a lot to me. And I think it's a simple way for me to give back, and the thing that I'm pursuing is to share that with other people. So Christine, you let me know. Okay.
That's cute. Let's see. Christine had quite a few questions. Another thing, this is interesting. This is an interesting question. I never asked, and I wish I had for all my actors. How much impromptu do you do in the movie? Like how much, I mean, is there any little tiny pieces here and there and they keep it in, or you might know, you haven't, have you seen the final?
I haven't seen it. Saturday will be the first time I'll have seen the movie in its entirety. You typically are doing master shots, so a wide shot, and you're doing a couple of those.
Okay.
And you're doing a couple close-ups on each person. So you
Mm-hmm.
get a couple takes, and once you do a couple takes and you can kind of really get into a rhythm, it allows for some things to happen. The hope is that each take something different does happen, and so if a little impromptu
Awesome.
moment transpires, then that's great. And in full transparency, sometimes you're not as word faithful as you
Mm-hmm.
be to the script, and
Right,
so
right.
but sometimes it creates something really good. And so I think the director, Bruce Johnson, was great in that. Just let's do one more for safety, and that says to me, we have what we need. Maybe something good will come of it. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have licensing to get a little funky with it.
All right, that's cool. That's good. I love that. Was a good question, Christine. Jan wanted to know: did you have to read for the part, or did the powers that be know that you were the person they wanted?
No, I wish, as grateful and as seamless as the audition process was, I did have to audition, and I had 2 scenes that I auditioned for the part, but I didn't even have to go to callbacks. I after my initial
Yeah.
auditions, again, I think I owe a lot of gratitude to Bruce Johnson, the production team, everyone at casting who saw me and said we're going to take a chance on this guy. I think he fits the bill, and having faith in me. I really am grateful to that.
Did you do like a chemistry test or anything like that, or no?
No, I didn't even know until I had secured the role that Cindy was my
Oh, well, good, was a good thing for you.
Yes.
Here, this is fun.
There's my mom, by the way. Totally proud. Amy Harlow. That's my mom.
She's here. She's on here.
She just chimed in.
We'll look her up there. Jan was also saying, do you sing or play an instrument? And how about cooking? It's the only reason why I put this up here is not that we don't want to know if you sing or play an instrument, but I want to tell you something about cooking as soon as you answer that question.
I love. I sing for my own entertainment, so I am not a singer by trade by any means. My wonderful girlfriend Erin, sings opera, which is incredible. I can strum a guitar. I can play some chords, and I can carry a tune. I think in another life I could have been in theater, musical theater, but mostly for my own fun.
Oh, all right. Okay. So the recipe thing. So I always love doing recipes, and I will I put some stuff up yesterday and today for the movie, and I will tomorrow, and I will, which is Friday and Saturday, but tomorrow I'm going to put a recipe up that I think if you were going on a hike in Yosemite, you'd want to eat it for breakfast before you left. And that's your oatmeal recipe, because my family makes something similar. One of your chats, I think it was with Suspenders and Button, you were saying you do a good oatmeal, put peanut butter in it, put jam. We do that. So I'm going to put the recipe up in your honor, and we'll put that on Instagram tomorrow.
Oh, I love that. Please do, because
all right. Arlene says, who were your favorite actors and movies growing up? I think you may have said a little bit about that, but I don't know if you said an actor that you admire.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I think I mentioned Hook as one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, not in this one, but in another chat you did. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, and last night when I got back from dinner, or 2 nights ago, dinner with my girlfriend, Mrs. Doubtfire was on, and Robin Williams always holds a special place in my heart. Someone that is just so talented and versatile in what he can do, and just so he just can't take your eyes off him. He's just amazing. Trancing.
Talk about stretch. That
man has no bones. He could be anything. Wonderful. And I love that. I'm such admiration of that. And they're so nostalgic. Being 37 years old, Mrs. Doubtfire, Hook, those are all in my childhood, my youth, and
Yeah.
hold such a tender spot.
Well,
So yeah, Robin Williams,
good
again,
choice.
Clint Eastwood. I know on the flip end of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of wonderful actors out there that I love.
All right. So they loved getting to know you. That's all. Like we get to analyze with your choices. So we're going to end with I call my little love note, showing you some love. And look who's showing you love. Is this
Yeah.
your mama? This is your mom, right?
Amy is my mother. My
Amy. I'm a
wonderful mom.
teacher. I'm a
Yes,
teacher, Amy.
we were talking. Mom, if you're listening, we were just talking. Roxanne, what do you teach, Roxanne? I didn't ask you.
I teach 5th grade, and I teach ELA, language arts, which is
great.
reading, writing, and I also teach social studies.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
that's what I do. Yeah.
Well, my mom, again, I believe it's 28 years. She may correct me after this, but taught 2nd grade in the public school system, and she went back, got her master's, and is a principal. And I'm very proud of her for that work that she's done. And it's not easy. It's not easy work, and I really do mean that when I say thank you for the work that you do, because we undervalue how important your job is, and I hope you feel the gratitude from myself at the very least.
Me too. People writing in saying nice things. We see it. We see they're saying they can't wait for the movie. Like Rona's good, can't wait. Someone said they're DVRing it just in case they miss a minute or need to go back, and they're all saying all sweet things, which is so nice. And I promised you that we wouldn't be here too long, but look, I'm looking at
it. Time flies when you're enjoying yourself, and I truly, you represented Hamilton, New Jersey so very well, and I hope when we come visit Hamilton that you and I can meet in person. I'd really like that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. That would be lovely. So we're going to say goodnight to everyone, but just hold on so you and I can say goodnight in the studio. So
thank you, everyone. I appreciate you.
Yes. Don't forget, Saturday, 8:00, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, and also to live tweet with all the hashtags. We will be there. We will be there.